Yeah.
Mr. President, will you ask Attorney General Pam Bondi to release more documents to finally put this controversy to bed?
Yeah, whatever's credible, she can release. If a document is credible, if a document's there that is credible, she can release. I think it's good. But
right? Credible, huh? Who decides what's credible?
with all of the different things that we had to go through, we've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well. And it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
Look, I voted for Trump all 3 times. All 3 times, because what other choices did we have? We had a demonic Hillary Clinton, we had a demonic Joe Biden, and a demonic Kamala Harris. That's the choice that we were given. I don't take it back. I'd do the same dadgum thing over again. But you don't get to hide the stuff that you campaigned on releasing. We all knew this was gonna blow up the midterm elections. Matter of fact, it still might, acting like it never existed. And this is exactly why I think it's really, really important, because the biggest rage that we ever had in the last 2 years, especially of the Biden presidency, was everybody telling us he's the sharpest man in the room. He's brilliant. He's up before I'm awake and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, he's pooping on himself. The man don't know where he's at half the dadgum time. And we're all calling BS on this. And so as a conservative, as somebody who is supposed to be supporting the president, when my side messes up, when my side looks really, really bad, I'm not going to try to cover it and get paid off like some of these influencers who are worth $50 to $100 million. Just do whatever the president says. I'm not ever going to do that.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
This really kind of has to make you wonder where your priorities are. President Trump posted this just the other day, and he says that his statement on the Washington Redskins is totally blown up, but only in a very positive way. And he says he may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins, then and get rid of that ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, then he won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. The team would be much more valuable and the deal would be more exciting for everyone. And he adds that Cleveland should do the same with the Cleveland Indians. The owner of the Cleveland baseball team, Matt Dolan, who's very political, has lost 3 elections in a row because of that ridiculous name change. What he doesn't understand is that if he changed the name back to the Cleveland Indians, he might actually win an election. Indians are being treated very unfairly. Make Indians great again, MIGA. And yeah, so priorities. If it isn't making Indians great again, it's making the West great again. Taria Burke says, in case you missed it, a video from April of this year is recirculating of Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni in the Oval Office saying she wants to make the West great again. Trump says we can. But apparently Trump isn't saying we can actually release the full details of the Epstein file. And instead, only Pam Bondi can release what she deems credible, which as far as I can tell, a lot of you don't really have a lot of confidence in Pam Bondi or her ability to discern credible from not. I've even heard some people say that they think that she's Adam Schiff's daughter. I don't even know where that came from. But again, folks, priorities. And I know for a fact that a lot of you consider your health and well-being to be a top priority, especially from the comments that I've been reading here lately of the overwhelming joy that seniors have received after calling our friends at Chapter on the number you see on the screen to get their free Medicare help. As Chapter is they're the only ones who are going to search through 20,000+ plans nationwide to find excellent coverage and cost-effective, if not money savings for Medicare, which puts money back into your Social Security. It's fast, it's simple, it's easy, and most importantly, it's free. The number's on your screen, folks, 270-467-2426. And let me know in the comments, is your health a priority? Is your financial well-being a priority? Is the money you have available in your savings important to you? If you're living on a fixed income, Social Security, or perhaps maybe even just worried about the future and what possible changes could come from cost of living adjustments and Medicare rate changes, making the call is a no-brainer and should be a top priority? If so, just in the comment section type save money, because that's exactly what you want to do. Chapter, the number's on the screen. I'll save it in the description and put it in the pinned comment. Call them now, 270-467-2426. Tell them Kevin sent you, and I'm sure you'll be glad that you did.
Look, I voted for Trump all 3 times. All 3 times, because what other choices did we have?
What other choices did we have? Better yet, what other choices will we have in the future? President Trump is a lame duck, and some of the actions and, the retaliation and spin, some unnecessary, because President Trump is doing a good enough job on his own to discredit and weaken the strength of MAGA for conservatives and Republicans moving forward, that midterms could be quite interesting. The 2028 election could be very, very interesting. Granted, now we're seeing a shift in focal point here to turn everybody's attention to other things, particularly what's happening with potentially Tulsi Gabbard and Barack Obama.
And I understand that there is more, perhaps, that you are going to come out with next week. And I was told that that's why they raided Mar-a-Lago, that they wanted to find the Trump-Russia documents that indicated there was absolutely no collusion and that there was no evidence to even start such an investigation. But Trump didn't have it there in Mar-a-Lago, but that's why they raided his house in 2022. Is that correct?
I don't have the details on the specifics of the Mar-a-Lago raid itself. Those are within the possession of the FBI. But there's no question in my mind that this intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered be published, which contained a manufactured intelligence document. It's worse than even politicization of intelligence. It was manufactured intelligence that sought to achieve President Obama and his team's objective, which was undermining President Trump's presidency and subverting the will of the American people. So yes, next week we will be releasing more detailed information about how exactly this took place and the extent to which this information was sought to be hidden from the American people, hidden from officials who would be in a position to do something about it. And that's really the point here that I think is most important, Maria, and you said it in your opening. Accountability is essential for the future of our country, for the American people to have any sense of trust in the integrity of our democratic republic. Accountability, action, prosecution, indictments for those who are responsible for trying to steal our democracy is essential for us to make sure that this never happens to our country again.
There's that. But, Buddy's right. What other choice do you have? And I myself am in a similar situation, which is why I'm sitting here talking to you, or at least for now. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is making the most out of what you got, doing the best with what you can, and more so importantly, actively working towards a better option, better solution. Granted, I'm not telling people to go as far as relocating and fleeing the country like Ellen DeGeneres has.
Ow, these things are sharp even through the gloves. Oh, God. Ow. Good job, baby. Thanks, love. You're funny when you run. Come on. Linda likes to go straight to the source. No, that's too much.
Come on, Mabel.
Come on. Yes.
That's Linda.
Yeah, Linda. Come here. Come on.
We called her Linda Blair.
Come on,
She
Linda.
has that weird disease where her head could turn around completely.
Come on. Come on, Linda, here. Come on. Come on.
Because it really isn't that bad. But from the standpoint of how good or how great it could be, or essentially what we voted for to make America great again, I'm not quite sure how close we're going to get to that reality. I'm not quite sure how close we're going to get to that reality. Now, this is all, relative and based on perspective, and it's going to be different for everyone. But I would say for the most part, overall, unanimously, I don't think that folks feel like they're really getting what they voted for. However, they're also very, very pleased and happy that they didn't get what they didn't vote for. Kamala Harris, the Democrats, the deep state, more lies, more cover-ups. It's just that now what we have are different lies, different cover-ups. But to me, Epstein files don't amount to a hill of beans. So there's that. But also seeing our president kind of duck, dodge, and weave and skirt around and dance around it while shifting his focus and making a priority of the Washington Commanders' name and stadium. I don't know. I feel like his time and effort and energy could be put towards far better things, more important things that could actually have bigger impacts and more meaningful change to the people that voted for him, for this entire country, for the world for that matter. Granted, I think that there's a chance here that there are some tricks up his sleeve, or at least his team's, his administrative cabinet sleeve, that they're working on to hopefully let the Epstein file debacle fade away and people forget about it for the time being until the Democrats start bringing it up again. And then say, well, look here, I'm serving you up Barack Barry Sotero Obama on a silver platter in handcuffs, thrown in jail. And this is for real, not some AI rendition or cheap fake. Do you think it'll work? Do you think people will accept that in exchange for not getting the Epstein files? Do you think Pam Bondi can then fly under the radar and people will leave her alone, and Dan Bongino can get back to work without speculation of him wanting to quit or having Pam Bondi fired or resign?